Hello, I'm Sydney Gleason, and this is the role of technology in elementary reading instruction. Picture this, a first grader tracing letters on a tablet that cheers when they get it right. A third grader reading an interactive ebook that defines tricky words with just a tap. A fifth grader getting instant feedback from an AI tutor about their reading pace. These aren't science fiction anymore. They're happening in our classrooms right now. Holden IQ states that global EdTech market for literacy tools is projected to hit $3.5 billion by the end of 2025. We're witnessing a fundamental shift on how children learn to read. But as these flashy new tools flood our schools, we have to ask, are they truly moving the needle on literacy, or just proving digital distractions can be dressed up as learning? During this course, I've dug deep into this question, analyzed dozens of studies and real classroom implementations. Today, I want to share what I've discovered when technology enhances the reading instruction and when it falls short. Most importantly, we'll explore how educators can harness these tools effectively while preserving what we know works in teaching reading. Let's begin with the encouraging findings. When implemented thoughtfully, technology isn't just engaging, it's genuinely effective. Take phonics apps, for instance. Newman's 2019 research shows that touchscreen letter tracing programs can boost letter recognition by 28% compared to traditional worksheets. Why? Because they engage multiple senses simultaneously. Children see the letters, they hear its sounds, and they feel the motion of tracing it. Then there's the adaptive learning technology. Programs that use sophisticated algorithms to adjust difficulty in real time based on a student's performance. Kim and colleagues' 2021 study found that these tools improved reading fluency scores by an average of 15 percentile points, especially for struggling readers. Even simple ebook features like built-in dictionaries, highlighting tools, or comprehension questions make a difference. Larson's 2020 research tracked classrooms using these digital supports and found something remarkable. Students voluntarily spent 40% more time reading when these tools were available. That's the kind of engagement every teacher dreams of. But before you get too excited, let's look at the full picture, because here's what research tells us. The initial excitement about the new technology often follows a honeymoon curve. Larson's study also revealed something telling. While digital reading tools boosted engagement dramatically at first, about 8 to 10 weeks later, the enthusiasm typically plateaued or even declined. Why? Because without teacher facilitation, the novelty will wear off. Students might enjoy all the bells and whistles, but they aren't necessarily developing deeper comprehension skills. This points to technology's fundamental limitation. Apps are great for drilling skills like phonics or vocabulary, but reading is so much more than decoding words. The magic happens when students make personal connections to texts, debate interpretations, or build meaning together, things that require human interaction. As Hill and Brevard noted in their 2018 meta-analysis, technology can teach children to read words, but it takes a teacher to teach them to love reading. The human connection, the shared experiences of getting lost in a great story is something no app can replicate. So, how do we find the right balance? The most successful classroom study didn't choose between technology or traditional methods. They artfully combined both. Consider what Dalton and Proctor observed in their 2021 research. When ebooks were used in classroom-facilitated small groups, comprehension gains were 50% higher than when students used them independently. Why? Because teachers could model thinking strategies, prompt deeper discussions, and make real-time adjustments based on students' responses. Many effective teachers follow what researchers call the 3C framework. Using technology for customized skill practice, like using 10 minutes of phonics apps targeted individual needs, creating collaborative experiences, such as digital book clubs or peer feedback tools, and lastly, encouraging creative expression. Think students making multimedia book reviews. The key is intentionality. Technology shouldn't drive instruction, it should clearly define learning goals. One teacher in Hutchinson's 2008 study put it as, I don't use tech to replace my teaching, I use it to enhance what I already do well. Of course, implementing technology effectively isn't without its hurdles. Let's talk about the elephants in the digital classroom. First is the access gap. CHIAMP's 2017 research in high-poverty school found classrooms where 3 students had to share a single tablet, or where spotty internet access made cloud-based programs unusable. This creates what researchers call the digital divide 2.0. It's not just about having devices anymore. It's about having the right devices with reliable connectivity and technical support. Then there's the content gap. When analyzed over 200 popular ebooks, people found that only 18% featured protagonists of color and just 9% included characters with disabilities. Imagine what message this sends to students from these backgrounds about whose stories really matter. And perhaps most crucially, there's the training gap. Hill's research revealed that 72% of teachers reported using technology, but only about a third received adequate training on how to integrate it periodically. As one frustrated teacher noted, they gave us the apps, but not the roadmap. The solution? It requires systematic effort, from better professional development to intentional content curation to equitable funding policies. Because technology alone can't solve inequity, but thoughtful implementation can be part of the solution. After all this research, what's the bottom line? Let's share the fundamental truths that emerged. Technology is a tool, not a teacher. The most effective classrooms use digital tools like a painter uses brushes, as instruments to create learning experiences, not as replacements for skilled instruction. What does this look like in practice? 3 things stood out from the most successful classrooms. First, they viewed technology as a complement to teaching, never a replacement. They used apps and ebooks to reinforce skills, but always kept the focus on meaningful teacher-led learning, like small group discussions that bring stories to life. Second, they prioritized equity, both in access and in content. This meant not just providing devices, but ensuring digital materials reflected the students' diverse backgrounds and needs. After all, a child engages more deeply when they see themselves in the stories that they read. And third, perhaps most importantly, they never lost sight of human connection at the heart of literacy. No algorithm can replicate the magic of shared read-alouds, the aha moment when a struggling reader finally cracks a tough word, or the personalized encouragement that builds confidence. A researcher, Hill, reminds us, the goal isn't to have the flashiest tech or the most screens. It's about using the right tools in the right way to create readers who are curious, engaging, and empowered, because in the end, technology should serve our teaching, not the other way around. As we wrap up, I would love to hear your perspectives. Maybe you've seen phonics apps work wonders for struggling readers, or perhaps you've witnessed how technology can sometimes isolate students rather than engage them. What experiences have you had with reading technology? What successes or challenges have you observed in your own classroom or schools? These are all complex questions without easy answers, but they're worth wrestling together. Because the research shows, when combined thoughtfully, technology used with skilled teaching and a focus on equity, we can create opportunities for children to become confident, joyful readers. Thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to continuing this important conversation.